Okay. Hello and welcome to more Gabriel Night. Yeah, save 6, day 3. Yeah, okay, so at the end of the last stream, we just started day 3. Oh, what's this?
Somewhere there's a New Orleans phone book missing one of its C pages.
Okay, so we're gonna have to call the Cousin News.
Somewhere there's
Let's see. Oh, hello, FGs. I sniff it. Of course I saved. I've been saving a lot. Right. I already grabbed the newspaper. We could grab some more coffee.
The coffee has already been made.
Oh.
The coffee has already...
Oh, right. We have to grab the coffee.
That doesn't work.
Here.
My kidney's already floating, thing.
Aw, come on. Any books we could grab?
Gabriel leaps through a German-English dictionary.
Himmel means heaven. Uh-huh.
Gabriel's had all those books in the back. Gabriel's had...
What brought them on? I don't know.
Gabriel selects a voice.
No, a very...
Drei feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
Actually, was that different?
Gabriel.
Drei Drachen. Drei Drachen kriechen in meinen Schlaf. Die Ziele wollen sie lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
Alright.
Gabriel cannot see any...
Is there a book up there?
Gabriel pulls down a...
We already read that one. Okay. Let's see. Grace, what do you got for us? Oh yeah, so what brought on all the Gabriel Night screens? I enjoyed playing, I actually enjoyed playing the FMV Gabriel Night, and I was intrigued to see what this one was like, and I've been really enjoying it so far.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What? Okay.
Alright. Any messages?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're interrogating a suspect this morning, and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Any more?
Do you have more messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours. I took down his number. If you change your mind and want to give him a call back, just ask me for it.
Do you have more messages?
I've given every...
Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure. I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Okay.
Here's that phone number.
Blinky Blonky.
Those two objects. Wolfgang Ritter's phone number, written in Grace's pretty scrawl. This is the last page.
Alright. I guess we go see Mosley.
I'm going out.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think the game is very charming. I like it. Is this auto-generated voiceover? I'm not sure what you mean.
Glad you made it. It'll give you a feel for how I am in action. You know, handling suspects, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it'll be invigorating. Who is this guy anyway?
Calls himself Crash. He's been an informant for us before, mostly helping us bust small-time pimps and dealers trying to break into the territory. Well, he's been staying invisible during these murders, but we picked him up this morning to Jackson Square. Pushing coke? He knows something. Call it detective's instinct.
Detective's instinct. Got it.
Well, all that conversation was automatic there.
All right, Crash. I want to hear about these murders. You been present at the so-called voodoo ritual?
I don't know nothing. I told you.
Come on now, you can tell me. Do you know anyone who's been to these rituals?
Look, I can't say nothing. You gotta let me go, man.
Now, you relax. No one knows you're here. The men who picked you up were plainclothesmen.
Plain clothes, like you could fool them. They know I'm here. They've got ears all over the city. They know everything.
Now, who are they, Crash? Are they the ones doing the murders?
Let me go.
If you're so worried about being detained, start talking. Now, you tell me what I want to hear, and maybe I can get you in the witness protection program. But you have to earn it.
Witness protection? Are you crazy? Don't make me laugh. Jesus, just let me out of here.
Now, come on. Who's behind these murders, Crash? Why are the victims all members of the underworld?
By now they know I'm here. I mean, it's different when I'm supposed to come here. Or if I can send a message. Tell him I didn't say nothing.
Christ, he's frickin' useless. Take him back to detaining, would you, Tony? I tell you, times like this, I'd kill for truth serum and damn the civil rights.
Can I quote you on that?
Huh? Hell no. Damn! We can only keep him for 24 hours. Tomorrow morning, I might have to let him go. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. For the book I made. Maybe you can punch it up some. You know, what do they call that? Fiction. That's it.
It certainly is. I'll see what I can do.
Blinky plonky. Alright. Let's see. Do we have any...
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Okay, let's start off by insulting him.
Have you ever called a hair club for men?
I'd rather have no hair than your hair, Knight.
Okay. It's a shame there's only one or two insults here, but...
What's the status on the Voodoo murders case?
It sure as hell ain't going well. There's a lot of brakes being applied in different areas of the investigation. We're getting some real info on the victims now, and they're not exactly upstanding citizens. I was hoping to get more out of Crash, but he's scared shitless. We'll have to let him go tomorrow morning.
What's the status on...
I told...
Alright. I guess that's all we're gonna get out of him. Is there anything new hanging out around here?
Art prints of... That's funny.
Alright. Well,
The suit.
we'll leave here.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Later, Knight.
Maybe we can bother the lady cop a bit?
Can I ask you a few questions, ma'am?
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Could you get me some coffee?
Are you?
Why?
Wow. I'm the police.
Oh.
Alright.
Gabriel should...
Maybe Desk Sergeant has something interesting to say. Alright, we have to open it.
Got a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
Okay, he doesn't have anything new. Alright. Let's get out of here. The only other obvious thing I have to do is phone calls. So we may as well go make some phone calls.
Hey, Grace. Here I am.
Oh, joy.
Um,
It's customary to pick it up first.
I love that line.
There's nothing there to operate.
Do I have to just... Oh my gosh. Or... 909-324 3333.
I'm not calling some stranger in Germany. I still don't know who this guy really is.
Oh, okay. Doesn't want to.
The si- It's customary to pick it up first.
Right. How am I... Am I really gonna have to, like...
Somewhere.
Oh boy. Alright. So we're gonna write down the phone number on pen and paper and then dial it, I guess? So Kazanu 555 1270. Would you recommend watching the VODs for this, or is it better to watch from now on? Like, you can watch the VODs. It's not, do you mean to know what's going on, or what? I don't think the story is, like... There hasn't really been anything super thrilling yet. I don't know, it's up to you, whatever your preference is. You could watch a little bit, see if you're very intrigued to know what happened earlier. One, two. The basic rundown is there are voodoo murders going on in town, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, that's about it. No.
Gabriel.
Go stand over here. Can you pick up the phone? Alright. So, 5551270.
Hello.
Hi, is this the Kazanu residence?
Yes. What can I do for you?
Do you or does anyone in your family patronize the Dixieland drugstore?
I'm a busy man. What are you selling?
Nothing.
Good. Goodbye.
I think you're fine. I think you're fine watching it from now on. I don't think you're... We're on day 3, so the story is just picking up, I would say. Yeah, we have to turn it on. 555 1220.
Hello, Casino residents?
Hi. I was wondering if you could help me.
Yeah?
A woman in the Dixieland drugstore dropped her purse today, and the name Kazanu was inside it.
Dixieland drugstore? Never heard of it. Sorry.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Hello? Robert?
No, it's not Robert.
Then get off the phone.
Uh, did I get that one right? Oh no, they're all 550s. Except for a 5535. That's probably the one I need, but... let's actually work on that assumption. Five, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 7.
Casino residents, may I help you?
Hi. You won a customer raffle at the Dixieland drugstore?
No soliciting, please.
Oh man. All right. And 280.
Hello?
Hello? I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. We have an order for you.
Castro, be quiet. Who is this?
I'm a friend of the owner.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
That was definitely the lady, though. One, 280.
Yes.
Hi. I called earlier about your drugstore order.
Hush, Castro! I told you, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So
that is the right one, though. I'm trying to find out who this Kazanu woman is. I can't remember why we wanted to find out who she was. Because it's somehow related to... why did we want to find out?
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some...
Sure. What?
No.
Okay.
Because we went to this Dixieland store and they ordered. The Dixieland store is a place that sells voodoo stuff. And this old lady went in there and she ordered a bunch of voodoo stuff to like curse her enemies. And we overheard it. So we want to find out more about this lady because maybe she knows stuff about the voodoo killings. Oh yeah, I corrected the number, Schniffit. Don't worry. Because I called 4 different numbers. These are all the Kazanus.
this is the last page of inventory.
Alright, well, let's get out of here.
See you later.
Good luck.
We can head over to the, yes, please, Beamer. Unless I'm, like, super stuck and I specifically ask for hints.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Madame Kazunu.
It's important that I talk to Madame Kazunu. You see, I'm doing some research and...
I can't tell you anything about her.
This guy's super shifty.
Willy Walker might not like the idea.
Alright, well, let's get out of here then. Oh, right, we have to use the exit door button. Okay. So let's go over to the Voodoo Museum.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
Any new and interesting dialogue, Dr. John? Oh boy, Knight walks so slowly in this scene for some reason.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
None of this is new. Shame.
Tell me. Just tell.
I am original.
Really?
I was
Alright.
dead.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
You
Are you
quite sure?
Is there anything else?
Not if
Alright. So, he doesn't have anything to tell us.
Does this mean anything to you?
I cannot say that it does.
Okay. Did I gain any more?
This is the last.
Yes, I know. Did I ever show this to him?
Dr. John didn't seem.
I did show it to him, and he was kind of angry about it. Yeah. All right.
The doorway.
Ugh. Let's get out of here.
I'll be going.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Maybe Moonbeam has something for us.
Gabriel Knight, come in.
Hello, Magentia.
Please, be seated.
Could I ask you if you...
Of course.
Grease.
Give me an example.
All right.
Yeah, okay. We already asked about all that. She's the one who translated this for us, so...
Does this mean anything to you?
I can be of no help.
Okay. Let's show her the number from Germany.
Does this mean anything to you?
I can be of no...
Okay. Did we get anything else new? Any other new items today? No. Okay. Well, in that case, let's skedaddle.
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
I just wanted to come and show you these two scraps of paper.
Do what you will, if it harm none.
Count on it.
Now, we didn't talk to, we didn't talk to, Mosley when we had the phone number, so maybe... Maybe that...
Hey.
So maybe that unlocks some new dialogue with Mosley. Let's see.
Can I ask you?
Nope.
What's this? Tell me, what? Oh, have you...
I'd rather...
So how'd you ever find anything in this office? It looks like ground zero.
Hey, I get my...
Alright. German phone?
That's nice.
I have this.
That's...
Alright. He doesn't, he hasn't unlocked anything new. So that's fine.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Have...
Okay. Maybe do something at the pub? Okay, this all looks the same. Talk to the bartender.
Could I ask?
Nothing new there. What do you think of this?
Does this mean...
Can't say...
What about this phone number from Germany?
Does this mean it?
Can't say...
Okay. The way you interact with like doors and scene transitions is kind of weird. Let's go take a look at the overlook. Says there may be the last few days there's been some like weird thing going on in the park that we had to do. Well, the artist and the juggler is still there. I doubt we're gonna have to interact with them again. Oh wait, no, but we do have to interact with the... Oh, the hot dog guy is still there. We do have to interact with the artist, because he was working on some drawings for us. Oh, and there's what looks like a fortune teller, maybe? Alright. Well, let's head down to the park. No, not the cathedral. Ah, man. That's okay, though. We can go into the park from the cathedral.
The booth is a colorful melange. It announces the owner as Madame Lorelei and gives prices for palm reading, $20, crystal ball gazing, $15, and birth charts, $50. Madame Lorelei lounges at the booth, fondling her snake.
This seems like someone Gabriel would want to talk to.
Come on, boys. Hoopla.
Okay.
Gabriel doesn't want to take... Gabriel does... Why do that? Why do... Jackson Square.
I'm looking.
Gabriel leers at the dancer, but she seems to want a more overt demonstration of his appreciation.
Okay. We have
Not
to go.
a bad idea. Ooh, baby.
Oh boy.
You move.
Madame Lorelei winks knowingly at Gabriel and twitches her hip.
Yep, she wants me.
Oh boy, Gabriel. What is this?
Thanks, boy.
Gabriel doesn't want. Gabriel doesn't.
I pick up the scarf. It was pretty well done, wasn't it?
The veil belonged to the fortune teller. It's covered with shiny, iridescent sequins. Gabriel examines the veil with a magnifying glass. That sequin looks a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale.
Bum bum bum.
There's a snake scale caught on the veil. The fortune teller's veil.
Okay. Can we?
Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to remove the snake scale from the veil.
Okay.
Gabriel magnifies the scale from the fortune teller. The iridescent scale is hued olive green. It doesn't seem to match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain. The iridescent scale.
Okay.
Gabriel magnifies the iridescent scale.
All right. Yeah, the plinky plonky, plinky plonky sound of progress. Well, let's talk to this lady then.
Could I ask you a few questions, Madame Lorelei?
The only answers I give are given in my reading. I'm sure your palm would be quite interesting.
All right.
That's a nice snake you have there.
I could say the same of you.
Oh my.
Well, I know where I got mine. Where'd you get yours?
That's personal.
I'd really like to know more about that snake.
Sorry, sweetie, but I don't discuss Elvis with anyone.
Did you lose a veil?
Huh, my veil. I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune-telling, let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong. Yes and no, yet so delicate and, flexible.
You don't know the half of it.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future.
Madame Lorelei winks at Gabriel knowingly.
Oh my gosh.
She is a dangerous one. Dark and beautiful. Ah, I see the road of your life forking. And very soon.
The blood drains from Madame Lorelei's face in an instant. Sweat beads on her upper lip.
Are you okay?
Oh.
Oh God! Beware! Beware!
Had spooky voice there.
What is it about me lately?
Why do that? Why? Madame Lorelei's booth is... Madame...
Can we
Gabriel
loot the
doesn't
booth?
want... Gabriel... Why do... Move, Gabriel. Move, Gabriel. Try to walk, icon. Gabriel would not mind picking up a few extra bucks by using Madame Lorelei's boot while she's gone, but he doesn't know how to belly dance. Gabriel would...
Okay.
There's no one. Gabriel doesn't see any use in consulting that.
Alright. Well, let's go talk to the our artist friend.
How's it going today?
What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow, this is great.
Uh-huh. Just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and good luck.
Plinky plonky.
The artist is an able draftsman. The reconstructed Veve was done for Gabriel by a technical artist.
Can we look at it? Oh.
The artist's reconstruction of the Voodoo murders pattern looks accurate to Gabriel. Something about it seems vaguely familiar and creepy.
Alright. So... Could go bother the hot dog vendor again. He was still here, so that suggests we need something else.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yep.
Why?
Because A, I don't know anything, and B...
Oh. You seem to be quite a reader.
Yep.
Did you ever read anything by Gabriel Knight?
No.
The vendor is clearly...
Alright, well... Probably not going to be anything more from the vendor. Maybe later there'll be something that calls for us. Could go talk to Moonbeam about the symbol thing.
Gabriel now.
Hello.
Please.
What do you think of this?
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic symbols. Deep magic.
Really?
No.
Then how do you...
Seeker, my eyes are unveiled.
Okay, well, that was useless.
Since Magenta has a snake, it might be...
Okay.
This is the first...
Alright. Well, shouldn't have any...
I guess I'll be going now.
any useful information about the symbols.
The only
I've heard.
Maybe Dr. Voodoo will have something useful for us.
Please select a
Last time he was kind of angry when we showed
Hello,
him
Dr.
the partial symbols. Maybe he'll be even angrier if we show him the complete symbol. Well, it is letting us show it to him.
Does this pattern look familiar to you?
Where did you get that?
You do recognize it then?
I have never seen it before in my life.
Are you sure about this pattern?
I am sure, Mr. Knight.
Are you sure about...
I am sure.
Okay. That was a sketchy answer.
This is the last page of Why would Dr. John be interested in that scale?
I don't know. Why wouldn't he be? Can I draw a picture?
The snake is too far. Gabriel doesn't. Gabriel.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll leave then. Not
Thanks
even
a lot.
Plinky
Bye
Plonky. Yeah.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
We're denied our Plinky Plonkies. We have had a few Plinky Plonkies already today, though, which is good progress in my books. This guy's shady as heck, but we're gonna see what he has to say about this thing.
Do you recognize this pattern?
Don't look familiar at all, sir.
Yeah, Plinky Plonk's a Plinky Plonk. That's right. Don't look a gift Plinky Plonk in the mouth. Last thing I can think of is show the pattern to Mosley. After that, we could go check out the, I guess the graveyard, or the cemetery. Let's see if there's anything, anything handy in there.
Mostly, my man.
It's...
Can I ask you...
Let's make sure
Have
we
you ever
insult him.
called-
I'd rather have...
So
Insult
how'd you
him
ever...
again.
Hey,
Just insult him a couple times, and then we'll show him this.
You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
That's cute, Gabriel. Almost looks legit. I'm sure our police artists would be amused at your techniques.
Alright, well, Mosley's a dick. Alright, well. See you later, Mosley. Oh, we get to walk around his office?
The suit doesn't operate. Gabriel doesn't want anything to do with that microwave. It's not Gabriel's. Gabriel's. Gabriel doesn't see.
Not me. Not me. Not me.
There's no reason. Gabriel doesn't.
Alright, well,
The
let's...
suit.
I'm gonna
Let's
hit
get
the
a-
road.
Ciao, baby.
Okay, so Mosley useless as ever. So, any new locations? No, I didn't think there would be. Okay, well, we haven't been to the cemetery yet today, so let's go check out the cemetery. See what's new with our friend here.
Excuse me. Mind if I pick your brain?
Go ahead.
What other...
No, I ain't one for naming names. Don't know how that sort of thing gets started. Why folks...
Tell me some...
Just look around.
Okay.
Does this mean anything to you?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, nothing obviously different here. Let's go... Let's check out the other graveyard screens. There's nothing different here. Oh? Well, isn't that something?
Malia.
Mr. Knight, what are you doing here?
My family's tomb is here.
Mine too.
I noticed. Subtle.
Well, Mr. Knight, if there's nothing else.
Don't go. I need to talk to you.
Whatever for.
I can't stop thinking about you. I've been in your thoughts too. I can see it in your eyes.
Mr. Knight, you don't know anything about me. I'm not in a position to get involved.
I've said that 1,000,000 times myself, but this is different. I think we both know we can't fight it. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I have so many obligations. My family is very traditional. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, I love tradition. I've seen Fiddler on the Roof 100 times.
This isn't a musical, Mr. Knight. We live in different worlds.
Look, I know you've got more money than God. Do you think I care? Do you think that's why I'm saying this?
No, I don't.
Why don't you come see my world? I have a little bookshop, St. George's on Bourbon.
I know.
See? I knew it. You're crazy about me, too. Come by tonight. Please. My world isn't so bad.
I'm sorry, but there's no place for someone like you in my life. Not now, not ever.
Oh.
Damn it.
Came on too strong, Knight. We needed to watch Young's Super Seducer stream.
An angel. Too heavy, solid. The tomb is much too heavy. It's locked shut. The doors are heavy. The plate is locked in position. There's a keyhole on the plate, but Gabriel can't open.
Well. Okay, well, we had some Plinky Plonky progress music. Alright, let's head on out of here. Right, so we had some progress by running into her in the cemetery, but it didn't necessarily give us anything. We should obviously follow her home. Let's go knock on the door.
Oh, it's you. Miss Getty is not at home, sir. Can you tell me where she is? It's very important. She's visiting her mother's grave, Mr. Knight. Something even you can't be tasteless enough to want to interrupt. I told you, Miss Getty is out. I told you.
Probably just getting a repeat scene. I was hoping you'd threaten to call the police or something. We haven't checked out the crime scene in a while. But I doubt there's anything more to be gained from this scene. Just showing up, I don't see anything that looks relevant, so we'll leave, I guess. I doubt going to Grandma's house is gonna get us anything, but should at least go just to say hi to Grandma.
Gabriel!
Hi.
Make yourself at home, son.
I mean, I don't know why I would play the remake. See, what's interesting about this is the story, not like the gameplay or anything.
Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
Okay, nothing there. Was it shiny? Ew, gross.
You know, you get prettier every... Have you baked any of your incredible...
No, dear.
Alright. Does this mean
anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
But the voice lines are so good. Why would you want a new voice line?
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
This has Mark Hamill? Who's Mark Hamill voicing?
That item can...
I guess...
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
Oh, Rusty spoiled it. I was going to guess Mark Hamill from Rosalie, though. No, wait, no, I don't want to go upstairs. Who's Leah Ramini? There's not going to be anything new here. We still have this clock, but I'm guessing we're not... It's going to be like a late game thing. Alright, let's get out of here.
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
I wonder who Tim Curry is. Maybe Dr. Voodoo? That'd be cool. It's supposed to be a Creole accent, F-Cheese. Are one of them Gabriel Knight?
Hi.
This guy must have had enough of our crap. Plinky Plinky? Why are you saying Plinky Plinky?
Hi.
Yeah, there's probably nothing here. What? No.
The tweezers from the bookshop are an old stainless steel pair that Gabriel's had forever.
You're saying... Ah, okay. Tim Curry is Gabriel Knight. Nice. You're saying that's an AI voice.
The glass is an expensive one with an inlaid jade handle, an heirloom from Gabriel's grandfather. Gabriel looks fondly at his father's sketchbook and charcoal pencil.
That is not an AI voice. Such madness, F-Cheese. Dr. John is Worf. Oh, cool. Oh, I see.
I knew you'd miss me, so I came back.
Oh, joy.
I like this Grace way better than in Gabriel Knight 2. Here she's less like super angry and just like a little sassy.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I have a pattern I need you to research.
I have a pattern I need you to research.
How interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Ugh. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want. But check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out. Anything else?
Can't think of anything.
Think of anything.
Okay.
Anyone is preferable to.
This
yeah.
is a lot.
Do you know anything about this?
I did research for you on that already, Gabriel.
Oh, you did?
Right, exactly.
I think she will say that.
Got a minute? Could you?
Sure.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I think we have to wait till tomorrow. Right? Like, this is really nice. I like it a lot. It's nice and chill after a work day. Work has been very, very busy.
It's custom.
All right. And let's try calling that lady again. What was it? It was 555-1280. What? Did I get the number wrong? What if I call the other ones?
Hello?
Hi. Sorry to bother you again, but I was wondering if you know anything about voodoo?
I don't believe this. Buzz off, guy.
Alright, let's try. Let's try the other phone numbers.
Hello? Casino residence?
Hi. I called before about the Dixieland drugstore.
I told you it wasn't me. Stop bothering me.
Casino residents, may I help you?
I'm calling from the Dixieland drugstore. You've won a prize.
And I suppose you're Ed McMahon. Stop calling me.
Alright. Did I get that one right? Yeah, 555-1280. The number is doesn't work anymore. That's weird. Oh, that's a busy line, isn't it? I can't remember phones from back in the day. Okay. Yeah, it's a busy line. Yeah, those are all very valid critiques, FGs. Like, why do we have different controls for move, open things, interact with objects? It's just kind of like...
I'm going out.
Good luck.
That's all very strange. But, you know, I think this game was done in, like, 92 or something. So... I'm prepared to be quite forgiving. Let's head back to the Overlook. Maybe our voodoo lady friend is back. $93. There you go. Okay. Yeah. This just didn't exist yet. Yeah. Hot dog vendor still. I don't think I need anything from the hot dog vendor, though. Oh! Our voodoo lady's back. Alright, let's go see voodoo lady. I mean, this is just great pixel art. They did a good job. Like, this guy's great.
You're back. You know, you really freaked me out running off like that. Yoo-hoo! Anybody home?
Stay away from Margagetti, or you shall pay with your life.
Oh.
What the hell is going on?
Well, that was creepy.
Gabriel doesn't want to take that out of the park.
Absolutely, Max Spooks.
Gabriel would not mind picking up a few extra.
Oh yeah, did I read the news today? I didn't. You're right, bummer. We should go read the newspaper. It's a very important part of 1990s life. Reading the paper. Oh, we didn't even grab an extra cup of coffee. What's up with that? Sometimes my chat doesn't scroll all the way down. There we go. Alright. Gotta move on, Gabe. Go! Yeah, they do. I think it's charming. But yeah, let's go back to the bookshop. We never did read the paper.
Phew, it's humid out there. Made it back, though.
Oh boy, party time.
Let's go pick up the paper.
Times Picayune, dated June 20, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
All the plinky plonks. Alright. Coffee? Nice, we can get more coffee.
Good coffee. My kidney's already floating, thanks.
Alright. I'm gonna be back in just a second. I require more water. Oh, hey, thanks for the bits, Cactus. It's very kind of you. Alright, well, let's head out of here. Maybe we can go visit the university.
See you later.
Don't hurry back on my account.
Aha! We can go to the university. Flinky plonks.
It looks like the lecture is just starting. Gabriel decides to record the session.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals. Some relate to specific tasks or places. Some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all those spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. The one tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. And this is called being ridden. The human worshiper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. The person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect,
And where's the Ludwig
a
lore?
vessel for the more powerful entity.
I knew this game was missing something.
Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Hezruli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo, or Gede, the lord of death,
Ooh.
Agwe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
Oh, I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Haunfors. Their priests, Hungan or Bokors. Their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a Voodoo Haunfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poto Mitan. The ritual circle is prepared with a Veve, a pattern of symbols. Each tribe's Veve is slightly different, consisting of complex symbols that identify their special Loa. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mamaloa, or head priestess. The use of totems or animal masks and markings was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves include the ritual gourd or asson, the ritual knife or kubasa.
That knife gives me the chills.
The ritual whip, or fouet cache, and the ritual coffin, or seke madule. These items are often optional, called for by the Mamaloa for specific magical rituals. The Mamaloa is the most powerful figure in any Voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mamaloa is the supreme woman. She butterflies, fireflies.
Firelight. No, what is it? Gabriel? What? I can't see. Gabriel, get in. Can't. It's too small for me. You must get in, Gabriel. It's not mine. Too small. Hide, Gabriel. Hide. No, no. Let me out. Help.
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my God, sorry.
Let's see what does
Gabriel scans the bulletin board. Greek night at the Alpha Psi Omega frat house. It looks like it took place sometime last spring. There's a PA speaker on the wall. The seats are the fold-down kind. Those doors lead to the projection booth. The podium. Partridge's throne. A projection screen. There's a door on one side of the stage. The stage provides theatrical lecture opportunities for theatrical professors such as Partridge. Gabriel does not need to enter.
Oh, okay, we can go into there.
Are you a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you have walked into my private office, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
Can you tell me anything about this pattern?
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back.
Oh, this is an opportunity to loot. We don't get to loot it.
Here you go. You know, this is a fascinating baby. You must tell me all about its origin.
Actually, I was hoping you'd tell me. Can you figure out anything about it from the symbols?
Well, some. That's why I wanted a copy. I want to research the design myself. Each of the symbols in the Veve represents something, a loa, a place. Where did you get this?
Have you heard of the Voodoo murders?
No, you're kidding. Really? Then the voodoo is authentic. The newspapers are wrong. Boy, are they wrong.
You think this Veve is authentic, then?
Authentic? Mr. Knight, that's like asking if the Mona Lisa is a painting. Tell you what, I'll look into these symbols myself and see what I can learn about the sect that made this. I'll give you a call when I have more information. You are associated with the police, aren't you?
Absolutely. But I'm, undercover. You can contact me at the St. George's bookshop in the quarter.
All right. Now, I'd like to get started on this if you don't mind.
Oh, we got the Plinky Plonks.
Mind if I pick your brain?
Not if it will get you out of my office.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
Oof.
What do you...
Just what I read in the papers until you showed me that veve. I wasn't interested before, but now... Yes, I'd like to figure out where these people come from and what they're up to. They are obviously some very frightening and deadly serious voodoo.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
Oh, we've thrown some we've directed some horny at Miss Getty again, and a random voodoo lady in the park.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery, in turn, has dominated New Orleans voodoo.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should read my books.
Classic prof.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
Do you know any...
I'm not...
Okay.
Do you have any idea what Cabri
Plinky Plonky musics
means?
Cabri sans corps. Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
What?
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, wolves, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
Oh, they've omitted the N on Quantum. Interesting.
What was that translation for Cabri sans corps again?
I'm not in the habit of repeating myself, Mr. Knight.
Yeah. Love it.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of voodoo somewhat interesting from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true voodoo practices.
Do you know anything about...
I'm not in the...
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
Can you tell me anything about that veve I showed you?
I told you I would research it, Mr. Knight, when I have anything.
Tell me about you.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
No.
Fine.
It's a very good way to get people to stop asking you questions. The 35 and a tenured professor? This guy knows
I'd
what
really
he's on.
like to know more about you.
There have been several articles written about me, Mr. Knight, as well as blurbs on my book jackets. If you want a biography, read.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible if that's the gods' demand. For example, one of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Azuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice? Or where will we find one? Azuli is the gentlest of Loa, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Hungan tremble before a possession by one of the more violent Loa, such as Papa Nebo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that the Loa will simply take it for themselves.
Tell me
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most Voodoo sects probably haven't seen a human sacrifice for several generations.
Tell me
I wouldn't dwell on
it. Alright. Anything else we can show this guy? Oh yeah, these symbols.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
Really? Are you sure?
I am never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
Oh man, I love this guy. Notebook, maybe?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Snake skill?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid.
Okay. Alright, let's scope out his
The
office.
carved stone head looks African and very old. That mask is quite hideous. Dr. Hartridge's office is crowded with masks, carved figures, and strange objects. Dr. Hartridge's desk is remarkably neat, especially considering the rest of the room. Dr. Hartridge's exotic fish lend even more color to the cluttered office. The shelves behind Hartridge's desk are full of old books. It's an enormous stone head. The squatter grins maliciously at Gabriel. Dr. Hartridge's The door leads back to the lecture hall. It's Hartridge's file cabinet. An old globe. The filing
Please don't touch that.
There is...
It looks heavy. It looks heavy.
Gabriel doesn't... Gabriel... 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 Gabriel...
It looks heavy.
Gabriel...
It looks...
Partridge would not put up with that for a second.
Alright. Well, let's get out of here then.
Okay, thanks.
Good day, Mr. Knight.
Any other screens here? Doesn't seem like it. Well, that was some excellent Plinky Plonky information. What now, though? We could go stalk Getty some more. We were told to stay away, so that clearly means we should come knock on her door. Oh god, I haven't saved in a while.
I told you, Miss Giddy is out.
Miss Giddy is out. So yeah, let's save. Save 7. Alright. Where do I go? I guess we could go see if there's anything new with Mosley. It's probably going to be a waste of time, but...
Hey, hey, hey. It's you. What's the state of...
I told
Oh, Veve. This is new stuff.
Do you know anything about Veves?
What?
Veves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight. That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These Veves...
Look, just stop worrying about them marks. I don't think they're relevant.
Do you know...
Animal masks? You mean like those Halloween masks they sometimes use in robberies?
I don't think so. More like real animals.
Never ran across anything like that.
Have you ever caught...
I'd rather...
So how'd you ever find anything in this office? It looks like...
Hey,
Trying for...
No. Are you trying out for a janitorial job with that hair?
Are those new shoes? What are those, hush puppies? Kind of a mud brown suede kind of a thing?
Hey, I'm on my feet all day, all right? Is that okay with you?
Mostly. I'm being perfectly sincere.
Yeah, you and my grandmother. Right.
Alright. Well, at least we insulted mostly a bunch.
I'll let you get back to it.
Ciao, baby.
Oh, we didn't ask, we can ask this guy about Veves and animal masks
Got
now.
a second, officer?
What can I do you for?
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I see plenty of masks during Mardi Gras. Not many animals, though. Of course, there's plenty of animals underneath.
Do you know anything about Veve?
Reves? Never heard of it.
Alright. Predictably, he didn't know anything. Maybe there'll be someone new at the pub. Always worth taking a visit to the pub. Alright, there's nothing new at the pub. Let's talk to the bartender.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Come Mardi Gras, you see all kinds of masks in here.
Do you know any...
Never heard of it.
Okay. To be expected. This one?
It's been worse.
Alright. Let's get out of here. How are we doing on the Plinky Plonks? 113 out of 342. So if that's any judgment, we're about a third of the way through. We could go see if there's anything new at the Overlook. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing new there. And nothing new. Okay. Voodoo Museum, I guess?
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
Did I have
This
any...
is the last page of...
Yeah, I didn't have anything else to show him, but we can talk to him. We can at least ask him about Veves and animal masks.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I used to have some antique African totem masks, but they were on the point of disintegration, so I removed them.
Are you sure you can't educate me further about animal masks?
Unfortunately, I do not know much about totem masks. The practice was more African than American, and that is not my area of expertise.
Okay, thanks.
Veve?
Do you know anything about Veves?
I believe they have something to do with Haitian voodoo, but that is not really my area.
Do you know?
Okay. So he doesn't know anything, or he's not feeling like talking. Did I ever talk to him about snakes?
I'd really like to.
There is really.
Alright. He just doesn't want to tell us anything. Ugh. Damn it, lady.
I'll be going.
Walk carefully.
Yeah, let's go to Dixieland store. We'll hassle this guy some more.
Hi. Uh-huh. Can I?
Animal
Do you
mask?
know anything like the ones in the voodoo rituals they do for the tourists? Right. I used to sell a few as souvenirs. The only one left is Willie Jr. over there. The old crocodile. Well, he's sort of a mascot now, him.
Oh, cool. We could ask more about Willie Jr.
Can you tell their curiosities, no?
Oh, yeah. Do you know anything about Veves?
No, sir. Never heard of him.
About Willie Jr. Would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
$100? You gotta be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. very close, no. I could talk with him for less.
Would you take?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $100.
Okay. So we could buy Willie Jr. now. I wonder if the dialogue...
The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head. It's a manic... The mask...
Can we just steal it?
To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it. This is the...
Alright. Well, I know where we can get some money. The cash register of the shop. Let's go get some money. Well, actually, before we go get the money, let's go visit Moonbeam one more time. She might have something to tell us about Veves.
I had a feeling you'd be back.
Or animal
Really?
masks.
Boy.
Please, be seated.
Have I used all my lifelines yet? I haven't used any lifelines. I don't know what lifelines are. Wait, what was I gonna do?
Of course, Seeker.
Animal
Tell me
masks.
about the animal masks.
I saw them used once or twice when I was younger, but you don't see them much anymore. They are too close.
Too close to what?
Just bad karma.
Tell me about.
I don't know what else.
Do you know anything?
I don't know anything.
Alright. Just doesn't appear to know anything. Ah, I see. Not today, actually. Unless you want to count your suggestion of reading the
Magenta's
newspaper.
parlor is...
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
That would have been the closest to a hint I've used today.
The only vice is the absence of love.
I've heard that. Bye now.
Apparently, originally the game had a helpline that you would call for hints. I haven't been to the cathedral. Oh, actually, no, I was in the cathedral earlier. There wasn't anything in there as usual. I mean, I guess I could go in there. Anyway, let's go to the bookshop and we'll see if we can't...
I wish you wouldn't wear that coat outside in June.
And...
Wishful thinking.
No, I want to open the cash register.
Gabriel checks the drawer again, just in case life as we know it changed significantly since he last looked.
It looks like some cash.
Gabriel, that's all the change money I have. Touch it, and you can kiss your hand goodbye.
Would I do that to you?
Gabriel...
Would I...
It's...
Alright. Well, I guess we're not getting cash out of the register. Let's try calling that lady again.
There's nothing...
Nope, line's busy. Let's try again. What is it to dial the operator again? Is it 0?
There's...
Jeez.
Oh, whoops.
Hello, St. Genevieve's Wedding Chapel. How may I help you?
Boy, do I have the wrong number. Sorry.
That's perfectly all right. Goodbye.
All right.
This is the...
Yes, I know. Thank you.
This is...
Well...
I'm out of here. Try not to...
Don't hurry back.
So we've been to Moonbeams, we've been there, we've been to the pub. We haven't gone back to the cemetery in a while. Maybe we'll encounter Getty again. Also, do you have anything new? Yeah, we didn't ask him about Veves or Animal Max.
I don't know what you...
Do you know...
I don't know what you talking about.
I love this guy's voice. It's so good. Alright, well. He doesn't know what we're talking about. Nothing here. Okay, no sign of Getty. Although we could try magnifying glassing the thing.
That doesn't work on...
Damn it. Just has you amble over there just to be like, no, don't work. I don't know where I'm gonna get $100. My best thought was to rob the till, but we could go to the church. Maybe could make some confessions.
The chef doesn't do that.
May I help you, my child?
I'd like to make a confession.
All right, if it will make you feel better.
I think I just need an overall apology to the universe.
I see. Apology noted.
Thanks, Father.
Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Goodbye, then. Peace go with you.
Can we ask for a blessing now? I guess not. Maybe we have to exit and come back in.
May I help you, my child?
Could you give me a blessing?
Are you in trouble, my child?
Is the Pope? Yeah. You could say that, Father.
Then I hope this helps.
The priest blesses Gabriel through the confessional window.
Peace be with you, son.
Thank you, Father.
Alright, well. That didn't do anything.
Gabriel cannot do any. There is
Oh wait, nope, that's the wrong way. I want to go that way. Go back to the Getty estate and try to harass them some more.
I told.
Okay. That's not what we need to do.
There's nothing of... Gabriel does not need to enter the projection booth.
Yeah. Pretty sure... Well... You know, I haven't given the professor everything we have.
Mr. Knight, you're back. Oh, goody.
Have you had any luck with that beve?
I'm still working on it, Mr. Knight. When I'm finished, you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
This is...
Well, what do you think of this flashlight?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Alright. What do you think of this shirt I stole?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid.
Okay. This hair gel?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No.
It...
What about this brick?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Hmm.
Putting the
Snake.
scales.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No.
Okay.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid.
This is...
Pretty sure I already showed him all this stuff. Oh, I haven't showed him this one.
Is there anything you can tell me about the voodoo aspects of this photograph?
This is serious voodoo ritual. Nasty stuff.
In what way?
Let's see. I can't make out much detail from this photograph. Except for the corpse, of course. But the wound, the face, and what little I can see of the ritual paraphernalia. Reminds me of certain black voodoo practices. Very rare. I've never witnessed them myself, you understand?
Really? Interesting. Thanks.
Blinky Flonkies. Nice. Alright.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid.
Alright. So we may have just unlocked something there.
This is the...
Is there anything else here?
Those two are... Those two...
Yeah, okay.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Right. Let's get out of here then.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Maybe we can now go and hassle our Voodoo Museum guy. Alright, we need to... Yeah. Ask him about Black
Hello,
Voodoo.
Dr. John.
Glad you could.
Given the man size, that doesn't seem...
Could I ask you...
Of course.
Do you know anything about Black Voodoo?
That sort of viewpoint makes my work very difficult, Mr. Knight.
I'm not implying that all voodoo is evil, but there are certain practitioners that use voodoo towards a darker end, aren't there?
No one that I am familiar with. If there are one or two ignorant believers, that is none of my concern. And I do not care to promote a Hollywood interpretation of voodoo by discussing it.
Okay, it's very, very touchy about it.
You really don't know anything about black voodoo practices?
I believe I already indicated my intolerance for that line of inquiry.
It's being very fishy. Very fishy. Alright. Let's get out of here then.
That doesn't seem to work.
Goodbye, Dr. John.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Alright, let's head over to Dixieland Drugstore. Ask this guy about Black Voodoo. And he'll probably be like, I don't know anything about that. But we'll do it anyway.
Can I...
Black
Do you know
Voodoo?
anything about Black Voodoo?
Black voodoo? Oh, no such thing, I tell you for sure.
Do you know any
Black voodoo? Which don't end...
Alright. I didn't get any new inventory, did I?
This
No.
is the this.
Did I ever show this guy this picture?
Look at the voodoo paraphernalia around the body in the photograph. Are you sure you can't tell me anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about it. Nothing.
Alright, let's get out of here. So we can now go ask Moonbeam about Black Voodoo.
Gabe.
Hello?
Please, be seated.
But harassing an old lady. We didn't harass any old ladies. I mean, we could go talk to our grandmother. Alright.
Could I ask you if you...
Of course.
Black Voodoo.
Do you know anything about Black?
It is the oldest, darkest heart of voodoo.
Do you know any...
There are some...
Do you...
There are some things it is better not to know.
Alright. She doesn't really know anything. Alright, let's get out of here.
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
May...
Yeah, let's go harass an old lady.
Nice to see you too, Gran.
Make yourself at home.
Can we talk?
Of course.
Do you know anything about Black?
Black Voodoo? Is that something new?
I don't think...
I don't know much about any kind of voodoo, Gabriel.
Okay.
Do you know...
What?
Never mind. Do you know...
Why, no, dear.
Never mind.
Okay.
Gabriel doesn't want...
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
Alright.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
I think we completely forgot what was said. What, the, if that two Grace would murder us, yeah. Are you talking about the Kavanagh lady? I mean, I only have her phone number. And we haven't been able to reach her.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Do we have any... Did she?
Got a minute, Grace? Could you?
Sure.
I can't.
Okay.
Do you have...
Nope.
Could you do some research for me? I can't think of any.
Okay.
Could you do...
Okay.
Do you have messages for me?
Dana called, and Susie left a...
Awesome.
Oh.
Do you have...
Your grandma...
I keep meaning to...
She sounded great, and we had a nice...
Great.
Don't worry. I didn't go into detail about...
She's my girl.
But she said to remind you to stop by and go through your phone.
Do you have more messages?
Here's a strange one. He...
Call.
Well, fine.
Do you have more messages?
Your friend detective... He left an interesting message. He told me to tell you...
Fascinating.
And that he left...
It's about...
Gabriel.
Now,
Because I know...
Arata has
Gabriel, you know you never put him in your book. Your main character...
as long as it's...
That's enough.
Do you have messages from...
Nope.
Do you have message?
Nope.
Do you have me?
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 Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're in...
Sound.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have more?
That man from Germany I took down...
Do you have more?
I've given every...
Do you have me?
Nope.
Okay. Research?
Could you do some I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Could I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Could you see what you can find out about a woman?
The name...
Oh.
Anything.
I can't.
Okay.
Could you do some? I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I need...
Madame Cazeneuve? Is she related to the murders the same way you're...
Grace. Gazin.
As if that... Anything else?
I can't.
Okay.
Could you do? I can't.
Okay.
Could you do? I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Could you do? I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Could you do? I have a pattern I need you to
How...
It's a reconstruct...
Ugh. You shouldn't carry this kind of...
Well, where you're
I'll see what I
can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Could you? I can't.
Okay.
Okay. Where would it be? Is it under...
Do you know what Caprice on? Are you Are you sure? Do you know anything about Marie?
Wasn't she a big...
That.
Well...
Sergeant Willie Moonbeam, lecture, grandma. I forget. What did Grace tell us we could do with the with this thing?
Somewhere there's a new...
I mean, the only obvious thing would be to call the phone numbers, which I did. We could try calling them again. Line's busy. What's this?
Gabriel never has figured out how to operate the memory function on this phone.
I don't think color display was invented in 93 yet, so they wouldn't know it's us.
I'll be back later.
Good luck.
There's nothing to do there. Not likely to be anything to do there. Could go back to the cemetery. Well, why don't we go to Jackson Square Overlook? No? Look at the phone page again.
Somewhere there's a new... Somewhere there's... Somewhere there's a new... Gabriel can...
Should we call the veterinary clinic? Oh yeah, she had a dog. So we should call the veterinary clinic. Alright. Back to the shop. Ye old shoppy.
Hello, beautiful. It's me.
Oh.
Okay. That was...
Those two are...
Open the thing. Alright. It is 555 6170.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Do you have a Madame Cazeneuve as a client?
Madame Cazeneuve? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
I'm worried about Castro. Shoot.
She's my aunt, and I've sort of lost touch.
I'm sorry, but I don't feel right about giving her address out. Goodbye.
Oh, man. Alright, let's try calling again.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
About...
Yes?
I really need...
I just don't know.
I'm worried about Castro. He's missed 3 dance lessons.
Castro? Her little doggy? Oh, he's so sweet. Well, I guess if you know Castro, it's okay. Her address is 345 Dauphine.
Thanks.
Blinky plonks. Okay. We've made some progress. Not like a lot. Some. Okay. Did I play in the mud at the crime scene? If you mean getting this thing, we've done that. No, the actual mud.
Don't hurry back up.
Okay. It's actually got a little dog. Alright, well, we go play in the mud in the crime scene.
Gabriel does not put... There is the banks, the sand, there is not the grass. Gabriel, that does the sand, the sand doesn't work that. Gabriel was just thinking that he could really use a lake, but he doesn't want to get his pockets wet.
Is that clay?
Aha. Of course.
Yuck.
What?
There's no reason to... Gabriel is carrying a lump of clay from the banks of Lake Pontchartrain.
Ah, okay.
Gabriel is carrying a lump of clay from the...
Oh, we can make a... I bet we can make an impression of the keyhole. Perhaps. Alright. Although we'll probably just clog the keyhole with clay. Let's try it anyway. Okay. Is that gonna work? Or are we gonna get a sassy voice line?
That doesn't work on the lock plate.
Alright. Fair enough.
This is the last.
Should say something about making an impression of something. I don't know what I would be making an impression of, but maybe we'll find out. It's the way to do it. Chicks dig when you pilfer their family tombs. Alright, well, let's go harass the Madame Cazanou.
Yes? Who is it?
Hi, I'm doing an article on voodoo, and I heard that you...
I am a good Catholic, young man. Take your evil influence elsewhere.
But I just have a few questions.
I can feel the evil eye. Go away.
Alright.
I'm doing the best.
Yes? Who is it?
Magazine
I
subscription.
have some fine magazine subscriptions for sale.
I'm sorry, but I'm not interested.
Selling pet supplies?
I've got some great pet supplies. Coochie coo, little doggy.
Castro has everything he needs. Don't you, Castro?
Thanks a lot, Castro.
Land shark?
Land shark?
You are no Bill Murray.
Please let me talk to you.
Please let me talk to you, Madame Cazanou.
I don't talk to strangers, young man.
Alright. So we can look
All
around.
windows flank the front of the mansion. The door frame is a beautiful example of traditional New Orleans architecture. Hall windows, like many New Orleans buildings, this one is accented with ornamental wrought iron. Well-worn stone steps lead up to the front door. Gabriel stands at the door of an old French Quarter residence. The neighborhood is a little shabby, but this particular building is freshly painted. There's not much of
What if we used a...
the flashlight, using the flash.
Okay.
Gabriel, the knock. There's no. This is the last page. Those two objects.
Can pretend to be a priest?
The black shirt won't do Gabriel much good the way it is.
The way it is.
Those two objects would.
The things I do for my art.
Okay, slick back her hair. No.
This is the last page of inventory.
She's gonna suddenly be interested to talk to us?
Yes? Who is it?
Hi.
I told you.
No.
Yes? Who is it?
Please let me talk to you, Madame Cazeneuve.
I don't talk to strangers, young man.
Those two. There's no reason to make a clear impression of that. Those two. Using the black shirt won't do Gabriel much good the way it is.
The way it is. In what way is it?
It's a priest's shirt. It's...
I'm not going back on the street looking like this.
Oh, I know. I bet we can go to Granny, give her the shirt, and be like, "Hey, Granny, can you iron this for us?"
My precious boy. How wonderful of you. Make you.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
Sorry, no, Gabriel.
Damn it. Do we need a priest collar?
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
Because she said she was like a good Catholic woman.
That doesn't seem...
Maybe I missed a priest collar in here? Can I take
The crucifix might... That doesn't...
Oh.
Well, you never know when a priest
Aha!
will come in handy.
Okay, we got the priest collar.
This is the...
Oh, now it has a collar.
Page. Gabriel is carrying a priest's shirt and collar which... surprise, surprise! Do not belong to him. There's no reason...
So we gotta go back to the lady's house. Actually, I wonder if we can... we probably can't take the cross right now.
All right, but this is private.
Okay. Plicky plonks, and...
The things I do for my art.
Okay, good, good.
Yes? Who is it?
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
It's Father McLaughlin to see you.
Father McLaughlin, you say? You must be new in the parish. I'm so pleased to meet you, Father. Do come in.
Thank you, my child.
Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
Scope the place out.
Madame seems to like candles. Gabriel wonders if these two are specialties of Mr. Walker's shop. The painting behind the couch is a Madonna and Child. Madame's antiques are probably worth something. There's an old-fashioned jewelry box on the coffee table. The tea service has been polished recently. Madame uses it with her Creole sisters, perhaps? An old table lamp with a fringed shade gives off what little light there is in the parlor. Madame's parlor is full of carefully dusted and polished relics of her past. The folding screen has a colorful pattern. It looks oriental. The painting behind the couch is a Madonna and Child. Like all good hostesses, Madame has candy out for her guests. Like all good hostesses, Madame has candy out for her guests. These appear to be several decades old. Madame's parlor. It's Madame. The sofa is velvet and it is wearing nearly as much of Madame Casanou's face powder as Madame is herself. Madame Casanou looks fragile and pale under a thick layer of face powder. If Gabriel is not mistaken, she's a slice short of a loaf.
It's so nice of you to invite me in.
Ah, but no, mon père. I am always happy to see one of the good fathers.
Do you find the weather to your liking?
It's terribly humid. I only go out in the morning and evening.
Okay.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions, my child?
Of course not, mon père.
Let's see.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
People think I'm just a foolish old woman, but I know the things they do. My family's been in New Orleans since 1750, so I know more than most. Voodoo people are all over this city, in the shops, everywhere. They'll curse you like that, and most people don't even notice. Spit on your bread at the bakery. Take strands of your hair at the store when you try on the clothes. You have to be so careful. But I know their ways, so I can protect myself. I know how to use the magic too, and I can counteract their evil spells.
Tell me more about voodoo in New Orleans.
It's just plain evil. It's dangerous to even discuss it.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
Voodoo murders? Ha! They are nothing new to me, Father. They happen all the time. I hardly go out anymore. It's too dangerous in the streets. They can get you anywhere, you know. Even here in this room. But I try not to let them know about me. That's the best way.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
The only true New Orleanians are of French origin, you know. My family were among the original settlers of New Orleans. They came here from France. The Creole society used to be so gay in New Orleans. Now it barely hangs on by its fingernails.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
You know, I can stroll the streets of the French Quarter and see in my mind's eye the way it used to be. It was wonderful in the old days.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans isn't what it used to be, I can tell you. There's too few of the real people left.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is...
Do you know
snakes?
anything about snakes?
Snakes. They're evil creatures. Did you know that evil people can send them into your dreams? They can. That's why I never sleep.
Right, thanks. Do you know any...
It would be bad.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what Cabri Sankor means?
Mais oui, I know. I bet you do not, father, n'est-ce pas?
It means goat without horns.
Oh, father, you surprise me. You do know what it means. You know what they mean by goat without horns, don't you? A human being. That's right. Slit your throat, cut out your heart. Pure evil murder.
That Cabri...
Do not continue to tease me, father.
Tell me more.
She was only a front for the real evildoers, father. And that's the truth about Marie Laveau.
Tell me more.
She was...
Do you know what...
No, father.
Do you know...
No, father.
Do you know...
Oh, yes, father. It is the wickedest kind. The kind they practice here in New Orleans.
Tell me more about...
I already told you.
Do you know anything about human sacrifice here in New Orleans?
Well, my great-grandmother could tell stories. She saw it. People say that sort of thing wasn't done in New Orleans. But the real voodoo queens did it. Oh, yes.
Can you...
What is there to...
Tell me about yourself.
Me? I am Creole. My family has been in New Orleans for over 200 years. Real New Orleanians are French, you see. These days the city is overrun with people with no heritage at all. No offense, father, but it's true. But the French, naturellement, will always be the true blood of New Orleans.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, father.
Who were the real voodoo queens?
Well, my great-grandmother told me that Laveau was just a front, a flamboyant decoy. She distracted authorities from the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. It's been the same one for almost 200 years. She's head of a secret voodoo enfort. That's what they call their temples, you know. It's so secret, most of the voodoo people in the city don't even know about it. The real voodoo queen controlled Laveau, gave her a little bit of power, and used her like a puppet.
Is there anything else you remember about the real voodoo queen?
Well, my great-grandmother said that the real voodoo queen was the most beautiful woman on earth. She had the most incredible copper-colored skin.
Is there anything else you remember about the real voodoo queen?
Well, they are all brides of Satan. Other than that, I can't think of anything.
Alright. Could show some
Does
objects.
this mean anything to you?
No, father, it does not.
Okay. Show the old woman the murder
Madame
picture.
Casimir is paranoid and fearful enough without showing her that graphic photograph.
I love how narrator lady just chides us sometimes. Would you like to see some clay?
Does this mean anything to you?
No, father, it does not.
Just show her a lump of clay.
Does this mean anything to you?
No, father, it does not.
Right. Any other nonsense we can reasonably sure.
Does this mean any?
No.
Okay. Can we steal any of
Father
her stuff?
McLaughlin would never steal from one of his flock. The candy looks too old to be edible. That look. Gabriel, the crucifix has been nailed decisively to.
Okay.
Madame would think Father McLaughlin. Madame will. Gabriel. Madame Cazeneuve would not appreciate. Madame Cazeneuve.
Alright, well, I guess we ought to go.
Gabriel cannot open the front hall. He only.
Okay. Can I. Ooh.
Well, madame, I must be gone.
Of course, Father. I know how busy you must be tending your flock.
Oh, just phased through the wall.
I'm not going back on the street looking like this.
Alright. Now what? What was it that unlocked the Plinky Plonkies? Well, we could go to the police station, I guess. We haven't come and harassed Moosley in a while. Did I show everything to the professor? I think so.
Mostly, my man.
Yeah.
We could go back and throw more things at him.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Have you ever...
I'd rather...
So how...
Hey, I get my...
Alright. Voodoo
Do you
Hanfour.
know anything about a secret voodoo Hanfour?
Oh, come on. Someone's pulling your leg, Knight.
Are you sure?
There's nothing secret about voodoo in New Orleans. There's a museum, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but that's the stuff they want you to see.
You're getting mighty paranoid, Knight.
Alright, so we can go and ask people about the voodoo
What's
Hanfour.
the state?
I told you.
Alright,
Trying for a real estate job with that coat?
No. Are you trying out for a janitorial job with that hair?
Are those new shoes?
Hey, I'm a...
You know, you have a unique way of wearing clothes that's... Well, the way they hang, kind of pleating over that stomach of yours, drooping off of your butt.
We can't all have the body of a 12-year-old like you, Knight.
Alright.
This is the.
Alright, well, let's get out of here.
Well, I'll be seeing...
Ciao, babe.
So is missing something to show to the professor? We could go ask,
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
ask him about the secret Voodoo Hanfour.
Could I ask you...
Oh.
Do you know anything about a secret Voodoo Hanfour?
Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Knight.
Do you know anything?
Okay. He doesn't want to talk about that.
Does this mean...
I can...
Okay. Well, let's go then.
I'll be going.
Walk carefully out there, Mr. Knight.
Sounds like a threat. Um.
Hi.
I mean, he's not going to tell us anything, but we'll try.
Can I ask you just a few more questions? Can you tell me any...
Well, there's no such thing.
Would you take... Don't in...
This is...
Alright, we could go Pastor Moonbeam about the secret voodoo temple.
Mr.
My...
Please, be seated.
She's probably not going to know anything, but...
Could I ask... Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fool?
There are many voodoo churches in New Orleans, no?
Yes, but have you heard of a secret voodoo hound fool?
Wherever did you hear such a ridiculous story? There is no such thing.
Alright.
Well,
Peace and harmony be yours.
right.
Just gonna leave you guys with some music, and then I'll be right back. But not this music. There we go. I will be back in a jiffy. Okay. Let's take that down. Get chat back up front and center. So, you think I'm missing a thing, eh? What might I be missing? Oh my god. The scene transition things in the graveyard are really annoying. There we go. Oh yeah, I haven't talked to Old Man about secret graveyards. Oh, I could also harass the professor some more, I suppose.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Michael.
Do
you know?
I don't know what you talking about.
I love this guy's voice.
Do you know
Black voodoo? I seen lots of voodoo markings in this cemetery. I seen graves dug up and stuff you don't want to know about stolen from them. But voodoo, black voodoo, sounds like a devil of a distinction, you ask me.
Do you know any?
I told.
Tell me.
Just look around.
What?
No. Don't know how that sort of thing gets started. Why folks come to start leaving stuff at that one spot. But it happens all the same.
Do you know?
I don't know.
Do you?
I don't know what.
Okay.
Saint Louis, Saint Louis, Saint Louis, Saint Louis. This old tomb is in a
There's probably no one left in the family to maintain it.
Saint Louis.
You said something about people digging up the graveyard in one spot. I wonder if I just missed a something like one of the tombs being disturbed. Oh, we didn't do the screen transition. No? Come on, just go to the other screen. There we go.
Saint Louis, Saint Louis. Saint Louis, Saint Louis. Most of the plaster has fallen away. Most.
It was sign? No.
The tomb is. This old tomb has a sword carved into the stone below the name of the deceased. Why use the
Yeah, okay. Alright, well. I guess we clear out of here then. Let's go to the university. We could ask the professor about the secret voodoo hoodoon or whatever.
Mr. Knight, you're back. Oh, goody.
And if I pick not it.
Do
you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fool?
Secret voodoo hound fool? Where, Mr. Knight?
New Orleans.
Well, I don't know anything about a secret hound fool in New Orleans. But if you find something along those lines, let me know.
Tell me.
I wouldn't dwell on it most.
I'd really.
There have been several articles written.
Alright, well. Is there anything else I would want to give him?
This is the last page of inventory.
I gave him this. He said it was just nonsense. Gave him that. He was excited. I showed him the picture, and he was interested as well. But I appear to be missing something. Ah, yes.
Goodbye.
We could go talk to old lady again, I guess. Oh, or the Getty estate.
I told you.
Yeah, this Getty's out. The old lady is the one we learned about there being a secret voodoo thing, isn't she? I guess we could ask her again.
All right, but this.
This is Gabriel.
The things I do for my art.
I wonder what happens if you try to open the door without your hair greased.
It's Father McLaughlin.
Yes. Please be seated, Father.
Thank you.
Now.
Do you mind
if...
Tell me more about...
Well, I've never seen it. I wouldn't go near it if you paid me. But it's here in Orleans, I guarantee it. I hear the drums at night, oh yes. That's why I am so ill. I tell you, those drums. But we shouldn't talk about it. They'll hear us. It's the devil's work that happens there, I can tell you. I'll show you something. Something secret. You mustn't tell anyone, father.
I swear on my collar.
Here it is, mon père. A true object of evil if there ever was one.
It radiates something, all right.
It belonged to my great-grandmother. She told my mother that it was a token to gain entrance to the real voodoo ceremonies.
You don't say.
To tell you the truth, I always felt nervous about having it in the house. You know, evil influence and all.
Oh, I can see how you would, yes.
And yet, I could never part with it. It's been in the family for generations. Would you bless it for me, father? I feel strange asking such a thing of you, but surely you understand.
Bless this bracelet of a snake, even though its vibes aren't great. Let it do nobody harm when they wear it on their arm. Voodoo spirits, go away. Don't come back another day. And now, let us pray.
Madame is the only person to speak with here. It's a bracelet in the shape of a snake. It's a
Oh, right. Here you go.
No, I guess I wasn't able to...
Do you mind if I ask?
Can I ask for... No, we can't ask for, like, water or anything.
Can I see that snake?
All right.
Bless this bracelet of a snake. Let it voodoo and now.
This is the last page of it. There's no point in... There's no point in... There's no...
Okay.
I think that's enough, father.
Oh.
Okay.
Why use the... Why use... Why use the clay that...
Does this mean anything to you?
No, father.
A little lump of clay doesn't mean anything to you.
This is the...
Does this mean anything to you?
No.
Gabriel magnified. The snake scales are hued brown.
I was thinking we could, like, make a fake snake bracelet or something.
Those two objects.
But how?
Do you mind?
All right. Here's the bracelet.
Bless this bracelet of a snake, even though its vibes aren't great. Voodoo and now.
There's nothing written on the magnifying.
No,
There's no... Gabriel has a thought about the clay.
Bless, oh bless this circlet of silver. Take the curse, oh take it, Wilbur.
A lovely blessing, mon père.
Yes, I think it made a lasting impression. Here you go.
I feel so much better now.
It's a clay mold of Madame Kazunu's snake bracelet.
Okay, great. That's what I was thinking, but it didn't work for some reason. Okay, well, that's probably all we need. Alright, peace, lady.
Well, madame, I must be gone.
Of course, father. I know how busy you must be tending your flock.
Just face through the wall. I wonder, can we...
Those two objects.
No.
Those... Those two...
No? Okay. So what am I gonna do with that snake thing?
Is not...
Maybe we...
back on the street.
Maybe we go give that to Professor Man? Oh, it's timed. Okay.
Mr. Knight, please don't.
This...
Plaything?
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I'm afraid I can't.
Darn it. Alright.
Gabriel... Gabriel...
I'll be gone. Oh, do.
Maybe with Grace's art supplies we can do something? Because I'm thinking we use that, that snake skin to, make a fake snake bracelet and fool the old lady with it.
I knew you'd miss me.
Oh. There's no reason...
I'm not using the mold. I want to show it to Grace and be like, hey, can we do something with this?
Do you know anything?
No.
Alright, I guess not.
There's no reason...
Okay. Oh, it's this guy again.
Hey, kids.
Bruno.
Gabe, pet. I just popped in to see if you're desperate enough to sell me that painting.
Gee, is today the day that hell freezes over?
One needn't be rude.
I wonder what his deal is. Oh, maybe...
No.
Maybe I could sell the painting to get the... that crocodile thing?
Those two objects...
Well, I had to be rude to him.
I'll be back later.
Good luck.
It's the only option.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you...
Do... Maybe you care about this?
Does this mean anything to you?
I cannot say that it does.
Okay.
The doorway is already...
Goodbye, Dr. John.
Walk carefully out there, Mr. Knight.
I feel like I'm close to... Apparently Bummer has. I feel like I'm close to finishing the day.
Hi. Uh-huh.
Are you interested in this?
Could you look at this bracelet mold
Ooh.
and tell me if you've seen anything like it before?
No, man. I don't know nothing about that.
Interesting. Alright. Guess this piece. Maybe our artist friend could do something with it.
That doesn't seem to work that way.
Oh god. Why are you so slow? Can I move on, Gabriel? Oh god. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Does our artist friend know how to make a bracelet out of clay?
What would the artist do with that?
I don't know. Okay, maybe Drum Man. She did say the drums would,
Does this mean anything to you?
The drummer looks blank.
Okay. I wonder if our voodoo lady's back.
Gabriel doesn't want to take that out of the park.
She's not.
Why do that to...
Do 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 do. Alright. Police department? I mean, the police department is mostly useless, but... Oh, actually, maybe,
Must.
Mosley wouldn't be impressed by that clay. This is the last page of inventory.
Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum.
Can I ask
Sure.
you? Have you?
I'd rather have no... So, hey, I get my job.
Trying for a real estate job with that coat?
No.
Alright, yeah, there's nothing of use here.
I'm gonna hit the road.
Do. Maybe Grandma will be able to do something with the clay mold.
Make.
Oh, I haven't showed it to Moonbeam yet. Maybe...
Does this mean anything?
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
This is the...
Alright.
Well, Gran, I better get going.
All right, dear.
Do, 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 do. See if we can't stalk Getty some more.
I told you, Miss Getty is out.
Miss Getty is out. Alright, well, let's get out of here. I haven't been to the pub in a while.
You know, Sam, you're...
Does this mean anything to you?
Can't say that it does.
Maybe the bartender, for some reason, knows about secret...
I'm not too busy at the moment.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fool?
Are you kidding? Around here? Hope they aren't serving drinks.
Well, if they are, I don't think anyone in his right mind would want one.
Right, well, worth a shot, I guess.
Do you know any...
Black voodoo? Nah. I prefer not to think about that kind of stuff personally. Crime, perversion, weirdos. Just makes me depressed.
Okay.
Do you know...
Oops.
Do you...
Never.
Do you...
Come on.
Okay, well.
So what is...
That's about all I...
Excuse me.
But, Gabe, he's right.
With all the people...
Could you do anything with this?
What is this, a clay mold?
Oh.
Interesting. I am a jeweler, you know. But I'm retired and gonna sit right here in this frickin' chair until I beat this bastard.
Ah! You planning to be buried in that chair, then?
Does this mean...
Yeah, get away from me with her, will you?
Yeah, he would probably, this just feel like...
Sore loser, Sam.
Does this mean...
Nah.
He's a retired jeweler, though.
Somebody's using it.
Gabriel thinks he'll leave the man right there, thanks. The bar isn't... The bar...
So, like... He said he wouldn't leave until the, his opponent...
Are you sure you can't do anything with this?
I told you I'm busy with this old fart.
Nothing like a good...
Yeah, well...
Oh. So. Shh. Fine. So. Shh. Fine. Sorry to bother you, but...
I'm...
No, you're...
Besides, I'm...
Let's see. Can we, like, distract him with a bunch of random
Does
garbage?
this mean anything to you?
Yeah, get away from...
Show him a dead guy? Spook him?
Does this mean anything to you?
Yeah, get away...
Does this mean anything?
Yeah,
Maybe put something in his drink, make him sick so he loses the game?
Does this...
Yeah.
Does this...
Yeah.
He's reaching over and drinking, so it makes me think maybe we could get something to like spike his drink or something. Oh, maybe we can go and actually buy something from the voodoo shop. And then spike Buddy's drink.
Hi.
Root bags. Curry. Root. Herbal oils for...
Lodestone powder. 5-finger grab. Lodestone.
In this case, are super concentrated. The glass jars.
And
The Dixieland drugs. The shelf. The entire shelf. The Dixieland. That doesn't. There is. That doesn't.
Okay.
Can I?
Nope. Okay, well. Not that far off, but not talking to the right guy. Oh, I know. Maybe we get the bartender to keep giving the old dude some drinks.
Could I ask you a few quick?
Sure.
So what is Sam?
That's about all.
Tell me. What can you?
That's about all.
Tell me about
a good.
No. This dude?
Can I ask you?
I'm here to...
Right. What's up,
Buddy.
What's up,
Buddy.
What's up,
Buddy.
Hassle this guy?
Checkmate.
Hi. How's it going?
Could you excuse us? We're talking here.
Hi.
Could you
Hello there. And she was listening. Hello there. And she was listening. So, fine. So, fine. Hi, how's it?
It's
Business.
some.
You ever get tired of tending bar?
Never thought.
The weather's
With all the people in this bar. That doesn't. Gabriel cannot see a way to use that. That would not work too. That would not. There is. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Abel was I ere I saw Elba. Abel was...
Interesting.
That would make this guy really cranky.
So
That
do it.
would make-
Well,
Somebody's used...
Gabriel doesn't have.
Somebody's used...
Steal his beer?
Somebody's using...
Open his
That
beer.
would not work. There is nothing that doesn't. Gabriel cannot.
No.
Why gel? Why gel?
Make him sick so he loses the game.
Yo, pack of wood.
Okay, maybe Moonbeam?
Mr. Knight, how nice.
My...
She sells weird stuff, doesn't she?
Please, be seated.
The Moonbeam residence looks like a cross between a voodoo temple. The moon, Magentia's bottles probably magenta. The moon, whatever they do.
No. No. I don't want it.
Gabriel figures that many men have. Gabriel.
Could I ask?
Of course.
Do you?
No.
This.
Okay.
Does this mean?
I can be of no.
Okay. So that's no good.
Well, I guess I'll be gone.
Made
Police station? Remember it being in the bar. Okay. So is it maybe something I need to pick up then?
That belongs.
I don't need it.
Gabriel's already created enough Gabriel, the bot.
What do I need with it?
That belongs.
They aren't.
Gabriel.
You've already.
Gabriel cannot. The paint. That belongs to the paint. The bot. This isn't that kind. Gabriel.
This isn't that kind of bar. Oh boy.
That doesn't. Gabriel.
Abel.
Gabriel has spent. There is. Gabriel cannot do anything with the drummer on the street. Gabriel.
Somebody's you.
Gabriel doesn't. That would make. Gabriel isn't here. Don Juan look perfectly happy.
I don't think I want to do.
That could only. That could. This is. Gabriel's already created. That would. Gabriel thinks he lived. This isn't. Gabriel. The bar is. Gabriel. The bar is. The paint.
What do I need with a table? They aren't mine. What do I?
Could I just go stand over here?
That tabletop has an inlay. A sharp-eyed gentleman in a gray sports coat hunches. Then that tabletop. That object doesn't. That object.
Hit him over the head with a brick.
Does this mean any?
Yeah.
There's no.
Does this?
Yeah.
There's no.
Does this mean any?
Not really.
This is.
If I show this to him, he'll.
Can't say that it does.
No.
Could you do anything with this?
What is this? Interesting. But I'm retired. I'm gonna sit right here in this frickin' chair until I beat this bastard. Ah! You planning to be buried in that chair then?
There's no.
Does this? Somebody's using it.
Gabriel.
What to do?
Gabriel. This is...
Well, I don't know what I need to do.
Door. Gabriel, that doesn't seem to...
Surely there's some other thing I need to bring. Oh, I guess I could recheck all the conversations. Alright, let's go talk to the lady.
You are a fungus.
Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Can I ask...
Sure.
On second thought, I don't think you could help. Can I ask you...
I'm trying.
Far be it from me to stand it. Can I ask you...
I'm trying.
Hello there. And hi, how's it going? Hi, how's it going?
Could you excuse...
Okay.
Hi, how's it going?
It's been worse.
What's up?
Buddy.
What's up?
Buddy, I think...
Can I ask you some questions?
I'm here to relax.
Right. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that's everybody I can talk to in the bar, who I haven't already talked to.
Nothing like a good...
Yeah, well...
Oh, well. So...
I'm concentrating.
Fine. So... Fine. Sorry to bother you, but could I...
I'm not the chatty No, you old bastard. Besides, I'm busy sucking. You're a real sweetheart.
Okay. Yeah, I think there must be some item I can use on the old dude that I just don't have access to yet. Yeah, I did. I could talk to him again.
Could I ask you... Sure. So what has Sam told you?
That's about all.
Tell me about the...
Don't know what else.
What can you...
That's about all.
Tell me about...
A good bart.
Do you...
Black voodoo?
Do you...
Never.
Do you...
Come out.
Can you... Well, if... Have you...
There's a voodoo.
Does the...
Never.
Do you know...
What about...
Oh...
Man, you asked the...
What do you know?
Everybody's talking about him.
What can...
This city must...
What can you...
I'm no expert.
Right. So that's everything he says.
So what is...
That's...
With all the people... That does... Gabriel, there is... There is nothing to open a... That doesn't...
They aren't mine. They aren't...
There is...
Yeah. If that is what I need to do, then whatever is the trigger must not be in the bar. I guess we could go to Jackson Square Overlook. Is there anything going on in the park?
These binoculars...
He's a hot dog vendor, I guess. Haven't done anything with him in this chapter. doubt there's anything there.
Hello.
Really?
Maybe we could take some coffee?
Hmm?
Oh, he's back.
Hey, kids.
Bruno.
Gabe, pet. I just popped in to see if you're desperate enough to sell me that painting.
Oh, hey, Pizza. What could you have possibly been streaming? I thought you finished Xenoblade. How much would you give me for it?
Would you give me for it, Bruno?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Stay out of this,
Stay
Grace.
out of this, Grace.
Oh,
you're
Bugsnax.
serious? You'll let me have it?
Yeah, I'll let you have it, all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My affairs are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Grace, let me deal with this.
Fine.
Fine. It's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display, though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you!
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
Gabriel cannot see.
That wall sure looks bare without Dad's painting.
Grace. Gabriel.
Okay. Well, we can go pick up the, Mr. Willie or whatever. I think of the Crocodile Mask. This is really important.
I'll be back later.
Don't hurry back on my account.
Hi. Uh-huh. I have $100. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's $100, sure enough. The mask, it's yours, sir. Here you go. Careful it don't bite you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck oil instead.
Well, I wasn't thinking a man as young as you would be needing that kind of remedying. But if you's having problems with your...
Oh, that's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks, anyway.
Of course, it ain't none of my business if you do need it.
I don't need it.
Of course you don't.
Okay, so we got...
The crocodile mask is made of genuine crocodile head. It looks heavy, hot, and smelly. The small bottle is labeled Master Gambling Oil.
Okay, so I bet we can use that Master Gambling Oil to either help our friend win the chess game, or poison the other guy. Let's try giving it to Sam first.
Got a second, Sam? It's about your game.
I don't have a game. That's my problem. Don't you touch those chess pieces while I'm gone, you bastard.
I ain't never needed to cheat yet, you loser.
Thought you might be interested in this gambling oil.
Let me see that. Master Gambling Oil. What's it for?
This is a powerful voodoo oil.
Ah, go on. Really?
Don't you ever wonder why Marcus wins every time?
Marcus? Using voodoo? That old bastard.
Pitiful, isn't it?
Let me see that bottle. Oh, this looks authentic.
Oh, it is.
If I could really beat that bastard. Stonewall, give me a Pim's cup, would you?
Coming up, Sam.
How much you think I'd have put in here?
Careful. You don't want to overdo it. Too much luck can be dangerous.
What? There's no such thing as too much. Now stand back.
Come on already. I'm ready to checkmate.
We'll see about that, Mr. Schmutty Big Mouth. Checkmate! Checkmate, you bastard!
Son of a bitch.
20 years I've been waiting to say that. Checkmate, checkmate, checkmate!
You are the biggest butthead Sam Singleton that I ever met. Checkmate. You can just put this chessboard where the sun don't shine.
Hallelujah, I did it! Yippee!
Nice game.
Nice game. Hell, I was brilliant! Of course, I gotta give some of the credit to that oil of yours. I've been losing to that guy for 20 years. If you ever need a favor, you come to Sam, you hear?
Will do.
Well, just so happens. Actually,
can I ask you some questions?
Look, I'd be glad to help you out, but I've been stuck in...
Alright.
Could you do anything?
What is this? A clay mold? Well, I am a jeweler, you know. And I owe you one. Would you like me to cast this for you?
If you can.
You got it, pal. Actually, it'll be a pleasure to get my tools out. First time in years. I've been too busy playing that goddamn game. I'll have the bracelet tomorrow. Meet me here.
Great, thanks.
More plinky plonks. Alright. Wonder if we have any new dialogue acts.
So, how do you feel now?
Couldn't be better.
Alright.
It's getting late.
Oh, okay.
Gabriel decides to go home for the day.
I was thinking I should bring the Crocodile Mask to the university. But I guess not. Because we've progressed the day. Oh!
Excuse me. I'm going inside.
Oh, excuse me, I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he here?
Really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning.
Oh, Grace.
Say goodnight.
You came. Tried to cock block him.
I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. Oh, I could show you around a little. Yeah, it's not much, but...
Please, don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
I guess old Gabe got lucky. I spoke to one who smelled of death. He gave to me his ears, and crosses that were marked were made in a what? I spoke to one who smelled of death. He gave to me his ears, and crosses that were marked were made into a veil of tears. Do, 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 do. Oh? The heck is that?
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Did you find out anything about that pattern I gave you?
Yeah, I did find something. I checked the microfiche at the public library. I found an article about a murder in 1810. The newspaper published a part of a pattern found around the body. It looks damn close.
You're incredible. All that work.
Forget it.
Have it your way.
I gotta...
Have you noticed this guy outside the shop?
Yeah. He gives me the creeps. I wish he'd go away.
Alright. Okay. Well, I'm gonna call the stream there. We're gonna get a save. And... what are we at? Day 5? I think day 5. And yeah, we'll take a look, see if there's anyone else out there that I could raid. I know, Def said, I'm sorry. It's almost time for me to go to bed. Blobber and Old Freeport. What's Freeport doing? Remember 11, the Age of Infinity. Is that weeb nonsense? Kaladin's doing Pokemon Gold. It's dangerously close to weeb nonsense, Kaladin. Oh yeah, that's weeb nonsense. Alright. I guess we'll raid Blobber. I can't abide the weeb. Beware the Blobber. For some good old-fashioned EU4. I've seen them played so much. Right, no. Have a good night, everybody. I've made my feelings abundantly clear on Weavery. Alright, have a good one, guys.